Dabney Coleman plays a detective who incorrectly thinks he has only 2 weeks to live in the comedy Short Time. That's one of 5 new movies we'll be reviewing this week on Siskel and Ebert. I'm Gene Siskel of the Chicago Tribune.
And I'm Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times. Our first movie is named Short Time, and it stars Dabney Coleman as a veteran cop who has about 5 days to go until his retirement. And as a result, he has become totally obsessive about his safety. With so little time left on the force, he wants to take absolutely no chances of getting killed or injured. His extreme caution is in effect even on calls that don't look very dangerous.
She tried to kill me.
What?
Just calm down, ma'am.
What?
Unbelievable.
Then Coleman gets told erroneously that he has a rare disease. He only has days to live.
You have a disease known as autotoxia hematosa.
It's very rare. I don't understand. Well, we're afraid it's terminal.
The news leads to a complete change in his behavior. Now he wants to get killed so that his son can benefit from the big police department insurance policy that pays out for cops killed in the line of duty.
Right here!
When he thinks he's going to die, Coleman starts acting sort of strange. Even his estranged wife, played by Terry Garr, wonders what has gotten into this guy.
I just want you to know that I've taken care of everything. I know you know that, but I've still taken care of it. And it's just taken care of as it always was.
Bert.
I've got to go now. I mean, I don't have to go, but...
Bert, talk to me. What is the matter?
Nothing.
Those last 2 scenes indicate the way this movie swings back and forth between slapstick and pathos. On the one hand, there are comedy scenes involving a cop who wants to get killed, so he gets involved in high-speed chases and death-defying stunts way up on top of skyscrapers. But on the other hand, there are the heartwarming little scenes about how he realizes now, when it's too late, how he should have loved people more and been a nicer guy. The movie could have gone in either direction, but I think it made a mistake in trying to go in both directions.
It made a mistake in trying to go to both directions because neither direction that it picks is it very good in. It's not particularly funny. This Matt Frewer, who is his partner, you know how many cop buddy pictures we've seen lately. This is one of the dullest partnerships I've ever seen in a squad car. He acts like he's a Stan Laurel retro simpleton or something. I mean, it's really stupid. He's playing at a whole other level than Dabney Coleman. And then the warm stuff is so phony sweet. I mean, Terry Garr, I expected Terry Garr to turn to him at some point and he says, come on, Dabney, wake up. Let's play this real in some way. It's nothing.
Well, you could have improved the casting of the movie a lot by making Terry Garr into the partner, because she probably would have brought more to that role. The one thing that you've got to concede to this movie is that it does have a very formidable special effects side to it, including that scene at the end where they're hanging from the top of the skyscraper. Now, that works, but it works in a movie where it doesn't matter that it works.
Yes, because it's about the 100-minute mark at that point, and you're sort of ticked off by then. Okay, next film. Our next film is a controversial drama called Tie Me Up, Tie Me Down from Spain. Controversial because the story involves a mental patient who kidnaps the porno and B-movie actress of his dreams and attempts to romance her. He ties her up, then he unties her, always begging for a relationship.
Tengo 23 años y 50,000 pesetas. Y estoy solo en el mundo. Intentaré ser un buen marido para ti.
Their relationship does turn violent, but eventually she takes pity on him after he's been beaten up. This film originally earned an X rating because of its sex scenes. Director Pedro Almodovar, however, refused to make cuts to get the film re-rated R, so now it's being released unrated, recommended for adults only. Well, on the subject of the X rating, I don't think Tie Me Up, Tie Me Down deserves an X rating. It's sort of mild as these films go, but I also don't think it's particularly worth seeing because the story is so strangely old-fashioned. The lovers simply fight until they love. And in this day of heightened awareness about the violence of rape, Tie Me Up, Tie Me Down could use a rewrite of its script. Another foreign director, Lena Wertmüller from Italy, did a much better version of this story years ago called Swept Away, and I was anything but swept away by Tie Me Up, Tie Me Down.
Well, of course, you could mention other movies, too. For example, The Collector by William Wyler, which was about exactly the same theme. The guy wants to keep this woman prisoner long enough to convince her that they should love each other. I agree with you. This movie just doesn't have very much going for it. Almodovar is a director who's known for his off-the-wall weirdo, bizarre approaches and his unique sense of humor, and none of that stuff is here in this film. It's his weakest work, and it's just not worth the furor that the MPAA has, in a way, inspired about it.
Over the X rating.
Yeah.
The other thing that he's noted for is his grand color scheme, sort of lurid colors and all that, and I didn't think that in this picture, first of all, it wasn't that colorful, and the subject matter is so explosive, potentially, that it just wipes away any visual style.
You got it. When we come back, another movie that was originally rated X and went through the whole appeal process, Wild Orchid, the steamy new movie starring Mickey Rourke and newcomer Carrie Otis.
Do I actually look that?
Desirable? Yes.
For some time now, we've told you that no other major brand of juice comes closer to this than this, Tropicana Pure Premium. However, for those times when you might prefer a smaller, more portable orange juice, no other major brand comes closer to this than the new Tropicana Pure Premium single-serve carton, which is conveniently available in packs of 3. Tropicana Pure Premium 3-packs. You just can't pick a better juice.
Nobody has the movie I want.
Hey, if it's on video, Blockbuster probably has it. Our superstores have over 10,000 videos.
Wow.
I'll watch these fast and have them back tomorrow, I promise. Relax. At Blockbuster, you can keep your videos for 3 evenings, so take home plenty. And use our 24-hour quick drop.
Do you have any children's videos?
Sure. Blockbuster is America's family video store. You know, we have more quality kids' videos than any place else. More movies, more nights, more fun.
Blockbuster Video. Wow, what a difference.
It makes me wanna
Shout Power Stick lets you stick it to tough stains today.
throw my hands back and
Shout them out next wash day.
kick my feet on it.
Shout Power Stick keeps stains from setting in till you're ready to wash them out. In tests against spray and wash stick, women chose Shout 2 to 1.
You know it makes me wanna shout. Come on now, shout.
Want tough stains out? Choose new Power Stick Shout.
Our next movie is Wild Orchid, a steamy and sensual melodrama directed by Zalman King, the same man who produced and co-wrote 9½ Weeks. And like that movie, it stars Mickey Rourke, an actor who is not afraid to take a chance, and he takes a lot of them in this movie. Rourke stars as a mysterious millionaire who wants to make some investments in Brazil and becomes fascinated by a young American woman who is the international lawyer on the deal.
Someday, you're going to tell your grandchildren how you were once in Rio. The man with bodyguards who brought you to an old converted slave quarters and had you walk across the room in another woman's dress.
That's Carrie Otis as the lawyer. She's portrayed as a virginal innocent from the Midwest who's never met a guy like this before.
I'm sorry.
Not you. It's me. I'm just not very good at being touched, Emma.
Jacqueline Bissett is Otis's boss, and she knows how to play rough in a business deal.
You all have wives. You know how crazy we get at certain times of the month. And with a full moon and being so far away from home. You must be used to that, Jerome. I'm talking about being on the road. It must be hard on Cynthia. Since her father made you a partner in the firm, you've been traveling a lot. Last time I saw her, she expressed some doubts. Then she has the kids to keep her company. I must say, I am looking forward to little Jerry's birthday. Tavern on the Green again?
This movie is thin on story and dialogue and tries to make up for it with atmospheric scenes like this one, where Rourke plays mind control games.
You don't touch. So you're touching through me. You don't feel. So you're feeling through me.
Wild Orchid essentially has one ambition, to be erotic, and I think it would have done a better job of that if the characters had been even just a little bit more believable. There's so much posturing in this movie, so much silly dialogue, and so many impossible situations that after a while I gave up trying to take it seriously and just waited for the sex scenes. And those scenes, incidentally, got the movie threatened with an X rating, but if you're interested in such things, and I guess actually a lot of people are interested, I have seen the X-rated version of this movie, and in my opinion, is not much different than the R-rated version that's in release. So you're getting whatever there was there to get, except that I don't think it really was that much to begin with. Wild Orchid has some intriguing people in it. It's photographed with style. But since I didn't believe in these people, I couldn't care much about their love life.
Well, let's start with Cariotis. I mean, let's say that this film is made by a man and is for a male audience, and it will intimidate women to go along with their men so the guys can enjoy the picture. All right?
Okay.
On that basis, Cariotis is portrayed with the brain power of a pumpkin. Mm-hmm. She's supposed to be a lawyer. Mm-hmm. All right? That means she's done postgraduate work. This woman is given dialogue.
She's an international lawyer. She
can speak many languages.
Yes.
Why then does she have to be stupid? Why can't she say a sentence? Now, either Otis is a terrible actress, or she's been given awful dialogue.
I think she was cast because she is a great-looking woman.
Right.
In the one major scene where she has to be an actress, the only thing I could think is she's talking like somebody who's none too sure that she's even memorized her lines correctly.
Yes.
She certainly doesn't seem to be anyone who believes what she's saying or understands what she's saying.
Now, there have to be people who are beautiful in Hollywood who can handle... why can't she be... Here's what I hate about these kinds of pictures. Why can't she be as smart as the Mickey Rourke character, as challenging as him? If you pitch a picture that way, then you've got a battle on the screen. Then you have something exciting. This film is like Emmanuel, only worse. Emmanuel, if you think about it, in those points...
Emmanuel was kind of an erotic film, and Emmanuel was sort of a smart woman.
Exactly. She's as smart as anybody in the whole picture.
The whole problem here is your heart goes out to this Cariotis character because you think, my God, the character is so dumb that she just doesn't have a chance with these slick people who are around her. And I don't think that was the point of the movie.
No. Coming up next, comic actress Sandra Bernhard ridicules everyone from Diana Ross to Prince in her one-woman show, Without You, I'm Nothing. Our next film is called Without You, I'm Nothing, and it is one of the strangest pictures I've seen, purposefully offensive at times, starring comic actress Sandra Bernhard. You might remember her from the Martin Scorsese film The King of Comedy. She kidnaps and ties up Jerry Lewis in that picture. She's also a frequent guest on the David Letterman Show. Here she makes a film based on her one-woman concert in which she ridicules contemporary stars and culture and fashion. Early on, Bernhard, who is Jewish, talks about her parents and her fantasy of growing up Gentile.
My father's a proctologist, my mother's an abstract artist. That's how I view the world. I mean, there was something really great about growing up in a liberal, intellectual Jewish household with 3 sensitive older brothers. But there were times, I have to admit, that I really got caught up in the romance of being Gentile, especially around Christmas time. I would fantasize that I had an older brother named Chip and a little sister named Sally, and my name would either be Happy or Buffy or Babe.
That's a funny bit. The film takes place in a nightclub where Bernhard has fun with black stereotypes as well.
Suddenly, in the corner of the disco, you see a big black man with a gold-laced caftan looming above the crowd. He has a blonde afro and red lipstick smeared across his face. He's a black angel there to take you higher.
The pomposity of today's stars is one of her frequent targets, including Diana Ross.
Ain't no river wide enough to keep me from you. Ain't no mountain high enough. Ain't no valley low enough.
She's funny when she mimics these stars. Without You, I'm Nothing, however, is not an easy film to watch. Bernhard can be strident. She even dares to show the audience in the club watching her character being bored by what she is doing. And at the end of the film, she gives us an angry, in-your-face dance number in which she dances with just a G-string on and some pasties, saying, in effect, this is what people really want from stars, to see us naked. I think she's partially right. And so I'm giving this brave and sometimes unfunny, seriously unfunny film thumbs up.
I would tend to recommend it, too, with the same reservations. You call it strange, and it is strange. Sandra Bernhard is not your typical stand-up comedian. She is a very smart woman.
Right.
I think she's a very angry woman, and she's a woman who perceives show business, which she is inside of and is part of, with a great deal of cynicism and a great deal, she keeps a real distance between her. And so what she's doing here is she's actually making an entire movie, and based on an entire one-woman show, based upon a rejection of the whole idea of one-woman shows and audiences and doing the Diana Ross thing and doing all of the other stuff that's supposed to be crowd-pleasing, so that, in a way, this whole movie is an act of film criticism.
It is an act of show business criticism, clearly. She thinks the stars are big phonies and that they have no relevance to the real problems of the audience. We see that. There's an alter ego, a black woman who passes through here, and we see how much more interesting that woman is, just in passing shots, than this big theatrical performance that she's giving, that the star is giving. And it's good criticism. I also, you know, I said something about they want to see us naked, is what she's saying. Don't you think she's right? I mean, I know that there's that impulse in the country. I mean, with all these magazines and all these interview shows and all this stuff.
Yeah, it's not enough to, it used to be, it was, let me entertain you, used to be what the stars are saying, and now they're saying, let me do anything for you that you want, just so long as I can get to stay as a star, basically.
When we come back, a bizarre fantasy named Santa Sangre by the director of the cult film El Topo.
When you get an allergy attack, you'll try any advice. Any advice.
Try the desert.
But the best advice is what doctors have said millions of times. Take Dimetapp. Dimetapp in non-prescription formulas brings proven relief. So take the advice of doctors and pharmacists for allergies.
I see the desert worked.
And take Dimetapp, the best advice you can take.
Our next movie is named Santa Sangre, and there's no question in my mind that this is the best movie on this program and one of the best movies of the spring. It's a bizarre, surrealistic fantasy by Alejandro Jodorowsky, whose El Topo came out in 1970 and became one of the cult films of that whole hippie period. The movie is filled with startling, sensational images like this one, as the hero's mother leads a cult of women who worship a saint who lost both of her arms.
This is our church!
All right, get them off my land right now, or I'll run them over.
Go ahead. You have to kill us. Go ahead!
Then go ahead.
The young boy's father runs the Circus Gringo in Mexico City, and in one of the movie's unforgettable scenes, he presides over an elephant's funeral. Images like that are astonishing. As an older man, the hero goes mad and is imprisoned, but escapes to rejoin his mother, whose own arms have been cut off by her husband, a circus knife thrower. The son now goes everywhere as his mother's slave, standing behind her and putting his arms through her dress so that she can use his arms as her own.
No praise, no style. You've got to move my fingers more elegantly.
Then the son's long-ago girlfriend from the circus appears. She's a deaf mute who helps him challenge his mother's power. Santa Sangre means holy blood, and the movie drips with blood and surrealistic images. It is also daring and original, and it has images here that wake us up instead of recycling the same old tired Hollywood cliches. This is not a movie you have seen before. To see this movie is to remember the golden age of the 60s and 70s when directors like Fellini and Buñuel gave us inspired psychosexual fantasies, movies that came from the subconscious and expressed the deepest obsessions of the director. Santa Sangre made me realize I was starving for a movie of great, bold, bizarre images. This is a terrific movie.
Well, I have seen other pictures that have been about characters who are obsessed with their mothers, and I think I've seen them more colorfully presented.
That's a rather simplistic way to talk about this film, a person obsessed with his mother.
Well, what I'm talking about is the character is obsessed with his mother. He has to break free. The girl, the young girl, is his transportation, if you will, into his own being, so that he's not as connected with his mother. But beyond that, I mean, I understand the impulse, but two, I didn't find, I thought this picture was just all spectacle and not enough emotion.
What's wrong with all, first of all, it's filled with emotion, but what's wrong with spectacle?
There is nothing.
When you've seen these same old setups, well, cops in the front of a car, cars running around, cars crashing into each other, people talking to the police captain, people having dinner with some girlfriend or something. I mean, today's movies are made out of little pieces that they fit together. This movie is new. You haven't seen it before.
You don't think for a second that I'm going to recommend tired cop movies. We just knocked one a while back.
Yeah,
so that isn't the defense of this picture.
No.
The defense of this picture should be that the images that it shows are compelling.
They're
and you're saying they are
from a Jungian point of view in particular.
Give me an example. What does the elephant's funeral? What does the elephant's funeral do for you?
What about the people who come down and break open its coffin in order to eat the meat? The people covered with dust who live in the shanty on the other side of the garbage dump. Well, this entire picture of these people is just. What does it do for me? It makes me think this is a combination of spectacle and poverty. It's a combination of dream and desire and need. It's something that is absolutely out of the imagination of this director. It's just not. It doesn't exist on any ordinary level.
And I watched that and I saw, gee, that's a technical stunt, and that's the difference. The only emotion I felt was in the relationship with his mother, and then I say I've seen that better before. Now let's recap the movies we reviewed on this show. 2 thumbs down for Short Time, the lackluster cop comedy with Dabney Coleman and Terry Garr. No laughs, no pathos. 2 more thumbs down for the controversial sex drama Tommy Up, Tommy Down, a stale melodrama of sexual conflict. 2 more thumbs down, way down, for the lame-brained Wild Orchid with Mickey Rourke and Carrie Otis. She is embarrassingly bad in an embarrassing role. 2 thumbs up, however, for Sandra Bernhardt's Without You, I'm Nothing, a strange, brave, angry anti-show business movie. And a split vote on Alejandro Jodorowsky's Santa Sangre. Roger thinks it's one of the best films of the year with its spectacular imagery. I rarely got emotionally involved, and so, oddly enough, this Sandra Bernhardt film, which I must say I found repellent at times, was the picture that got to me.
Yeah, but Gene, you're really, I think, missing the boat on Santa Sangre. Here is a movie that it comes out of the tarot cards, it comes out of Jungian images, it comes out of basic urges and desires and fears that we have seen with spectacular images. Maybe you just had an off day.
I didn't have an off day. I liked his first film very much, El Topo, and I wish that they would be released on videotape. That's being held up by its distributor. That's his great picture. I like that, too.
Well, I think people will like Santa Sangre also. That's it for this week. Next week, we'll be back with a special program called You Blew It, and you blew it on Santa Sangre. We ought to include that one. It's an all-new program where Gene and I helpfully accuse each other of having been completely wrong about several movies. That's next week, and until then, the balcony is closed.